A couple of paragraphs from each of these introductions. The full statements are in the books and you can read for yourself. The first section is an introduction to the main courses. And this one is entitled Filet Gumbo. Gumbo is a word that fits as naturally into the McCain vocabulary as words like grandma and grandpa, hunting and fishing, going to church, and arguments about Democrats and Republicans. In fact, Gumbo has sort of grown up with the McCain family. I don't think Gumbo was a part of the Davenport tradition so much, so Daddy is probably right when he claims he taught Mama how to cook gumbo. However, like the rest of the McCains, Gumbo has grown up and developed and matured and even begun to produce offspring of its own. Our abiding affection for Gumbo eventually spun etouffee in the McCain household, and now it is following the growth pattern of its predecessor. In the early days, Gumbo was little more than chicken broth poured over rice with a little filet added to each bowl. That made the gumbo very green and kind of stringy, or ropey, to use Rogully English. Mom and Daddy experimented with all kinds of gumbo, including squirrel, rabbit, and duck gumbo. On very rare occasions, Mama would splurge and buy enough shrimp to make shrimp gumbo. Maybe twice in her life, she bought all the ingredients to make seafood gumbo. However, it was chicken gumbo that was the standard fare around the McCain house. And I will skip to the end. Gumbo was more than a food for the McCain household. It was a cultural and social test. Most of the preachers that came to pastor our little church came from the north. Shortly after them Yankees arrived, Mama would invite them out to the house and feed them filet gumbo. If the preacher liked his gumbo and asked for a second helping, we knew we had a good preacher who was going to be a blessing to us. If, when he was offered a second helping or asked how he liked it, he used such expressions as, "It sure is interesting," or, "I think I'll wait for the dessert," we knew it was just a matter of time and he would be packing up his things and heading back north. The gumbo test never failed. Now let me go to the introduction to the second